Okay, thank you for the invitation. I think for us is we are very glad to be here because we would like to, well, as Pascual and Ruben were asking to me for this talk is just to talk about what we are doing in Televés and possible applications for photonic integrated circuits, okay? So I would like also to mention that I tried to balance, which is giving an answer to the question that Pascual and Ruben were doing, and also these are public information, so I need to balance these two fields. So I hope you can understand this situation, okay? So here, as well, Televés is not so well known like Orange, and also I'm going to talk about a more niche market, okay? So not so huge like my colleague from Orange. So the telcos are talking about a higher impact market, and I will going to talk about a more niche markets, okay? And then I think it's important to give you a brief overview of what Televés is. So very brief and soft, I promise. But just you to have an idea of so which is the size of the things we are going to talk about, okay? So as I mentioned, this global overview, so Televés was created in 1958, so we are around 730 people around the world. We sell in more than 130 countries, and we have a year investment of 60 million. And this investment is because we are a factory, so we manufacture what we are doing. So we need to invest in our facility in order to be able to manufacture from Europe, okay, and not to move to other maybe low-cost geographies. And also, I would like to give you an idea that we are a corporation, so we are 21 companies. And, well, why we are so many companies? Well, when we were created back in the year 58, we were in the north, well, we are in the north west of Spain, so this is a location where it's not easy, the communication 20, 30 years ago were not so easy. And then it was mandatory to make a vertical integration of all the possible or the critical operations so we can deliver with the right quality and timing to our customers. This because we have companies inside the corporation that are doing PCB manufacturing, so we manufacture our own PCBs for us and for the world, let's say. And on top of that, we have companies that are specialized, like ISF, sorry, like ISF, that is specialized in process automation. So as you can understand, we are manufacturing here in West Europe. We are 720 people, and we have around 100 robots in our manufacturing lines. And this company is working on the automatization of all the processes. And then we have other companies, well, Ladetel, well, sorry. Oh. And Ladetel here is specialized in doing CE marking, certification, and this type of things. That's something that we also need in the past. And we have then more specialized companies for broadcasting, but for IP distribution. So that's this is the approach that Televés was following. So we make companies, many of them are commercial filials only, and the other ones are specialized in integrating vertical operations or moving to other markets that Televés want to explore, like, for example, IP and TV broadcast, okay, for example. But as I mentioned before, we have a global presence through our 13 filials. We are in all around the world, and basically all of them are, let's say, commercial filials. But in Portugal, we have also a facility, so we are manufacturing also in Portugal. It was also the first filial that we have in Televés. And in the Far East, we also have a purchasing department there in order to get also components from Asia. Okay. As I was mentioning before, we want to, our target is to create value in Europe, but not only designing and creating, but also in manufacturing. So that's, for us, is mandatory, and this because our lines are automated, as I was mentioning before. And very quickly, so we are in a very competitive market. Sorry, I forgot to mention, I apologize, that we are focused on TV distribution. Okay, so in the building, we are specialized in getting the signal from the satellite, terrestrial, cable networks, and distribute these signals to the home. So the products that we have are from the antenna till the sockets that you have at your home, even the cable, the coaxial cable, set-top boxes, okay, head-end equipments, distribution. So that's the type of components we are doing. And this is a niche market, as I was mentioned before, because everything is moving from the telcos to IP, and they are getting almost all the spectrum. More and more spectrum is moving to the telcos, and that means that we need to provide very competitive solution. And that is just an example of a component that we developed. It is in gallium arsenide, and this we are using in our antennas. Is a low LNA from 400 megahertz to 2.5 gigahertz, which is usually the bandwidth that we manage in our products. And as I mentioned before, it was designed here in Televés and was manufactured in Wien, which, by the way, is a 3500 that now is developing a new process based on indium phosphide. Sorry. And we designed it. The foundry, yeah, we are not integrating the foundry, okay, that's sure. It's manufactured by Win, but we develop all the process to put it in our boards. So it's manufactured in Televés, okay. So we are able to place chip scale package in a PCB. And well, that's, as I was mentioning before, is just to give you an overview of the market we are addressing. As I say, it's a niche market for radio frequency signals distribution, okay? And now you will see the components that we already have, that we are selling today. For which type of networks? Okay, so here is the very common one. So we have cable operators, and what we are in DOCSIS networks. What we are doing is to do all the passive components, taking all this signal to the building or to the home, and then inside the home do the distribution by in this case, by coaxial cable or by Wi-Fi, so inside the home. And this is the other approach, which is more as a GPON solution, which basically the approach is similar. But the only difference, the other one we were providing the set-top boxes, and here we are providing the ONTs. Okay. So, having in mind that we are targeting these two type of networks, which with components, this is the passive components and that currently we have. We have pigtailing. This is something that we were buying from the Far East. But we decided that from a service point of view, and because we need to move from coaxial cable to fiber optics, that's clear for us. It was important for us to have some capabilities of doing internally pigtailing. So that's something that we are doing because our customers want to have different sizes depending on the network they are going to install. And this is a service that we can provide. So it's not only we are not going to compete in price, of course. That's impossible in this market. But we are able to provide a solution to our customers. At the same time, we have fiber optic sockets that there are some cable operators like R or medium-sized cable companies that they are interested in this type of solutions, and we are providing that to them. And of course, all the splitting and fiber optics cabling for distribution. For the active components, you will see that it's not really challenging, but here the challenge is the cost. It's a market that I will mention before is, in this case, is cost-driven. And here basically is an optical link for direct modulation. You see that the frequency is not very high, but this is the requirement for the satellite. The maximum is 2.1. Here we have external modulation, but the frequency is the same. Here the only difference is that we have, mainly in South America, we have deployments where the challenge is the distance. So in the other solutions where you are talking about 5 kilometers in this range is something that you can do it very cost effective with this solution. But if you want to move to 15, 20 kilometers or in this range, you will need to move to external modulations. Okay. Another component that is very important for us is optical amplifiers, mainly for GPON networks. So this is with 8 outputs, but for higher, bigger networks, we are working in this with 32 outputs. And that's for us a very interesting market because many people need it, okay, of course. And it's something that also the cost is very important, but as I was mentioned before, giving a complete solution to your customer is better. So you give a turnkey solution to your customer. It is what they are also looking for. Well, again, this is also a very simple solution. That is the receptor, so the receiver part. That you can have the solution more for the head end, so in the top of the building, or for in-home reception. Then there are also, as I was mentioned before, the hybrid networks. And here we have also small node solutions for the cable operators. the building and for a home. And well, finally, well, this is the OLT, ONT solutions that you know perfectly for the GPON networks. Those are some examples of what we have done. We have been working in the Denver airport, distributing all this, sorry, no, this is not the Denver airport. So distributing all the signals to all the terminals. These are big condominiums in the US and also in Spain. So you will see that here, because of the number of access, as you can imagine, cost is very sensitive part of the solution. So to finalize, well, for us it's clear that we should move from coaxial cable to fiber optics. That's something that we have been working since the last 6 years. We are also moving to higher frequencies because, well, this is broadcast TV is 2.1 gigahertz, but there are many other applications that are at higher frequencies that we are addressing and we are looking for. And also for us, it's also, as I was mentioned before, very important to have the ownership of the solution. To give an integrated solution to the market will help us to provide differentiated solutions, innovative solutions that can provide something different to the market. As I mentioned before, we are talking about niche market, so project about 20 million, no more than this, so in this range. And if we are able to provide a solutions that is good for this market, we can address opportunities in the range of 20 to 30 million euros maximum, okay, just to put you in the context. And I think that's all, yeah, because the other one, it was just for as an answer. So.
Thank you. Thanks for the talk. So now time for questions.
Okay, thank you very much for this nice talk. In your opinion, what is the future of terrestrial and satellite broadcast? Because I have a TV in my home, and I have not connected to the antenna, only to the IPTV receiver.
That's it's a very good question. So that's one of the key important things. So things are changing. So telcos are moving from the quadruple three play or whatever to the all play. So they want to provide everything. It's true that also the spectrum is moving to the telcos. Okay, in 2023, they are probably the 700 megahertz band is moving also to the telcos, and we believe that for 2027, 2013, probably this business will look completely different, like it is today. That's the timing we are managing. What is the important thing is the quality of what you are delivering. So if you want, for example, the Olympic Games or big, in the past, the higher compression, the new technologies for compression, and let's say the new delivery ways of the signals, etc., were mainly driven by this big, the football World Championship and this type of things were pushing the market. So people renew the TVs and the home infrastructure and building infrastructure to deliver these new signals. With IPTV, it's something that everybody is doing now. We are pretty sure that you don't care about the quality, otherwise you are not going to do it, at least right now, because you cannot achieve the same quality. What is the problem? That if we want to maintain the quality issue, we should be able to deliver 4K signals. For that, you need a spectrum. But we are in a big problem because we are not able to have the spectrum. So this is the pressure that the telcos are putting to this market. But this is a free-to-air market. This is something that if you want to see a free television, is the best way for having it with quality. Okay, but the future we all know, and this is because Televés is diversifying also this type of market. However, it's very important to mention that, for example, if you look to the 5G people, okay, it's like there is nothing more like 5G. They are going to make everything, so relax. But this is not true, and we all know. So people talk about network integration, but at the end there are so many different networks, and we are a niche company. So, and all the companies that are working in this area are niche companies. So we don't need a multi-billion business like telcos. We can survive with 100, 200 million euros. That's something that for us is okay, but not for the telco. And always we will have this type of networks. Maybe not here, maybe in South America, maybe in Africa, maybe in Asia, but those are the countries we are addressing. So we will have always a market, okay, because the size we are looking for. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? I am more curious about the Photonics transmission system that you show with transmitter, laser amplifier, modulator, or mainly because we work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give a little bit more details on the applications or the technology that you're using there?
You are mentioning about the external modulation.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
That one triggered my attention.
Yeah, this is because I put it, because I would like to put something. Yeah, this is a finisher solution that we are using.
Okay.
And this is something that when I entered in Televés, we were mainly focused on direct modulation because of the frequency we were managing. But at the same time, we get the requirements for, let's say, higher distance for distribution of signals. And the only way to do it was through this technology. But on top of that, we want to go to higher frequencies. So therefore, for us, it's mandatory to go to this type of solutions. And I read your last, the work that you were doing for an integrated circuit in this area. So we are really interested in this kind of application.
Any questions from the audience? Okay, that's nice. I'm hearing that it seems that the coffee is already being served, despite we are 10 minutes ahead of the schedule, which I think is nice. So if there are no questions, we can make a break, and then we take the session at 11:30. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sure.